Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What's the most NSFW reason you've seen someone get fired? FedEx Hub, Memphis. 2 aircraft mechanics got caught having sex in an aircraft cockpit. Both fired. One of them successfully appealed her termination on the grounds that she was on break at the time. I love bureaucracy. Unions, baby. Unions. We were on a break. Exclamation mark. Why does Ross, the largest friend, not simply eat the other 5? Guy wanted to leave early, boss said no. So he put a melted chocolate bar down his pant leg saying he shit himself and had to go home. Went on vacation and returned. Got called to hour. Apparently someone had been stealing from vending machines, so they installed security cameras. They watched a video of him buying a chocolate bar, heating it up in a microwave and putting it down his pant leg. This is fucking hilarious. I'm absolutely rolling. Lol, a male co-worker loudly announced redheads make him pop boners in front of our newly hired redheaded co-worker. He was fired that day, ha ha ha. Literal awkward walk of shame to HR. Something tells me someone willing to say something like that is not going to feel the shame they ought to. Co-worker installed a hidden camera in woman's stalls. 1 gallon found the cam. Termination without notice. How did they know it was him? Owner had set up cameras as well, but in a better hiding spot. As a criminal defense lawyer, I can tell you that they almost always catch themselves on video when they are setting up the camera. Buddy got fired because he was getting head in the cooler from the girl he'd been interested in for months. It was the first time they ever did anything, and he barely got the tip in before getting caught. Both blue-balled and pink-slipped, haha. And not the pink slip he was after. Guy was on a work trip in South Korea and put a trip to a happy massage parlor on the company credit card. He didn't think they would translate the receipt he turned in. Plenty of hotels offer special services and put it on the bill as fruit basket or emergency laundry service, so it can be expensed without issue. Jesus, Jim from sales is a health nut. He eats tons of fruit. Doesn't seem to help his digestion. He needs tons of emergency laundry services. That was not very smart, lol. Just fucking use your own cash. If you're big time enough to be sent on a work trip there, you can afford it. Being sent out on a work trip has nothing to do with a high income. Tears of joy. I was sent to France every week while earning a little bit over minimum wage. Devout religious guy who never ever drank decided to take up drinking all of a sudden while on business travel. He then decided that people wanted to see his penis. Turns out they didn't. Well, I mean, how was he supposed to know that if not by trial and error? This is the sort of error that could result in a trial. Co-worker of 5 years was caught jizzing inside our work boots at a construction site. End of day, the worker would go into the change room and sniff and wear our boots and sometimes jizz inside them. A co-worker saw a stain inside his soles that wasn't there night before, so set a camera up and caught them jerking and jizzing inside the boots. Employer got us all brand new boots. I also have a hunch that when we toss out our boots, the ex-co-worker takes them home and does stuff to it I can't imagine. Worker has been fired and reported. And that's how he got the nickname, Old Jizz Boots. Quote. Got caught ejaculating into the ice cream maker. He got fired and arrested. So this is why McDonald's machines are always broken. Reading this while eating a McFlurry made me choke. Was the ice cream maker fired too? I have lots of dumb traditional stories, but the one that hits me was when I was a teenager working at Pizza Hut. We had this kid working with us who was 18 years old and a full-on junkie. He showed up on time, did the job, but would take a bathroom break a day that was pretty long, that he was always pretty sweaty and irritable before he took it, then he'd be slow and goofy after. We knew. Just like how we knew the 2 guys who cleaned the parking lot 3 times a day were smoking bowls behind the dumpster. Whatever, as long as you get the job done and don't disappear. Then one day this dude goes for his shooting up break and doesn't come back out after 15 minutes. We knock on the door for a couple minutes, no answer. We shout, ask if he is okay, no answer. We assume he ordered, so we pick the lock on the door, literally just one of those ones where you use a screwdriver to unlock it from the outside. The door opens and the dude has a needle in one arm, the other wrapped around his dick, jerking it like his life depended on it. Yeah, he was fired. Opioids make it really hard to get erect and ejaculate. Dude was probably dying to get off but just couldn't. He told a pregnant girl, if your boyfriend comes inside you before you give birth, it will help the baby slide out better. Corporate could no longer hide his drinking at work after that. I heard it causes the baby to be born with a full and luscious beard. How about, should have been fired, but didn't because we're having a hard time finding anyone to work here. Anyway, so I worked at a company that built delivery vehicles onto purchased chassis. We typically had acres of finished trucks waiting to get shipped out in our yard. One fine day, an employee saw a couple of other employees slip into the back of a truck. A few minutes later, a couple more employees came by and got into the back of the same truck. He just minds his own business until a supervisor asks him if he knows where one of these people is. So he tells the supervisor what he saw. The supervisor goes out to the truck and just rolls up the rear door, revealing 2 naked men and 2 naked women just going at it on a couple of moving blankets. Their meth pipe was in the corner, so evidently they'd regularly been sneaking out for a couple of hours a couple times a week for these little mini orgies. Just another team building exercise. And probably way more effective than the usual trust fall bullshit. The only time I had to demand an employee's security card and laptop and then personally escort them out of the office was when it was discovered that he had a side hustle as a sex worker and got caught on camera servicing a client in the office after hours. Yeah, he was also an idiot. I often wonder the sheer amount of people who work regular jobs and do content on the side that get caught. If you browse over to any NSFW page, you see women in scrubs or work uniform taking nudes in the work bathroom or in an office. We had a graduate lawyer who was doing spicy content. I frankly don't care, but she got busted doing an after-hours shoot in the office. She wasn't even nude at the time, just upskirts and stuff. She was fired for misconduct and was reported to the legal professional board, who took away her practicing certificate. She lost her career for some OnlyFans money. Dude was working 3 jobs and would always fall asleep once he got to our office. On more than one occasion he, I assume, had sex dreams and ended up making a lot of inappropriate noises and having wet dreams all over himself. My boss tried to be understanding, but he reached a limit. It's all about that grind, man. Our society is fucked. One person should be able to support a partner and 3 kids on one normal 8-hour salary. Surprisingly, a lot of masturbation-related terminations. LMAO. I had a very long streak of masturbating at work, on the clock at least once at every job I've ever had. Probably lasted about 20 years, but I always did it in the bathroom and disposed of the evidence. No unwilling participants. A professional indeed, truly. I don't mind getting paid to tug as much as the next guy, but you can't be reckless with it. Having sex in a work van with unobstructed windows parked at the car rider pickup area of an elementary school at pickup time. And yes, a parent turned them in, not sure if they came or not. I feel like there were multiple chances to get off that train before it reached the final stop, but what do I know? This guy never got fired for this, but every single day this dude at my old job would hang out on the dock of the warehouse at the end of the day and wait for the cleaning lady to show up. They were both married to other people and would get in his work truck for a quick fuck before she started work and before he went home. Right there where everybody could see. Every day. In a team meeting, person was walking around handing out a form to people and forgot to give one to someone. Guy who didn't get the form said, "What am I, AN?" It was shocking because this was a major financial services firm. 25 plus years later I'm still stunned. Lol. 20 plus years ago worked with a sweet old nurse who loved a type of candy that she refused to call anything but babies, and did so in front of the whole unit. We were all shocked and her excuse was, "What? Of course it's not right and I'm not prejudiced, that's just what the candy is called." Ignoring that fact, they've been called licorice babies for decades. I'm taking notes to snack on Brazil nuts and licorice babies around the racist coworker I want gone. My aunt loves to refer to them by their old name. Like, to the point that we all know she just loves having an excuse to use the word. I'm more stunned about the usage of the term. Like being left out of something makes him a racial slur. That's so non-specific. It's almost like he was saying it just to be an edgy douche. I've always heard the phrase, "What am I, chopped liver?" And now I'm like, was that a censored version? You do know that white and black Americans used to be segregated, and therefore black people were then excluded from things, therefore making his joke like, more obviously racist, right? Family member had a colleague who got fired for hosting an after-hours orgy in the office. We never found out exactly how they got caught. Janitor came in with a black light. Thought he found a lost Jackson Pollock painting. The guy had just started, worked for less than a month and was fired BC he was jacking off in the bathroom during breaks lol. His mom was the department manager of the garden center at the time too. I always wonder how these people get caught. Like, do they be grunting or does the MF in the next stall recognize fapping noises and decides, hey, I better take a peek? At a place I worked, somebody started passing around a video they took of another worker in the bathroom getting it on solo. They didn't understand why they also got in trouble for filming the guy in the stall. Hey man, what he does on his break time should be up to him. Not me, but a guy the first used to work with. He was working at a golf course and a new girl just started. One of the other guys there immediately developed a crush on her. He was trying to figure out how to start a conversation with her before one day he saw her get in her car. There was a 9-inch nail sticker on the back. Perfect. They liked the same band. So, did he ask her what her favorite song was? No. Did he ask about her taste in music in general? Also, no. This guy just left a note on her car with some 9-inch nails lyrics, specifically, one of the lines from their song Closer. For those of you who know the song, it's the line you're thinking of. Those of you who don't, this guy's opener to some girl he had barely spoken to was the part of the song that says, "I wanna fuck you like an animal." Shockingly, she did not appreciate this and he didn't work there much longer. That guy probably thought he was cooking when he wrote that, not realizing that as a random, handwritten sticky note from a stranger it sounds completely unhinged. She'll totally get it and want to bang me back. Genius. Quote.